rate it. But either way, I am going to rate the Tarantino movies as far as from what I've seen from top to bottom, and you can judge, you can comment, let me know what you feel. I'm gonna bring this screen up right over here. Hold on, let's bring it here to. It should pop up. There it is. Perfect. All right. So when it comes down to this tier list, right? We have a list of movies down below. I'm gonna flip my. Okay. Boom. All right. So far, what does it look like? It looks like there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 movies. Okay. And I feel like I've seen all but one. And that one, I believe, it's like I started it and I didn't get a chance to finish it, and that was Four Rooms, right? And I'm not gonna put Four Rooms, like, it's not, I'm not necessarily giving it a D. It's just right now I haven't completed it, so I don't really know what can really come of it real quick. Okay, but as far as how these tiers work, I'm sorry, I didn't explain it. So S right now is there's just like no question, no errors. That is top tier right there. And then as you can assume, A, B, C, D is pretty much how we're graded back in school. So when it comes down to Four Rooms, really D is just like, say, a movie that I haven't seen before, and I started but I haven't finished. So I think I may make it a mission sometime soon to actually complete this movie. Um, but when it comes down to, let's start with The Hateful Eight. A lot of people have mixed reviews about The Hateful Eight. Now, I love the Hateful Eight. Some people say it's long, but I really honestly I don't know how to call it real quick. Um, right now I think I want to put The Hateful Eight as an A tier, and here's why. Yes, I agree it's long, and that's pretty much, I feel like that may be the only reason why I'm not making it S tier. But when it comes down to the story, right? Tarantino did his chapter thing again, and say at the end of this movie, it was more so, let me have, like, say, the first chapter at the end of the movie, just so you can get an idea of where these people are coming from. Actually, no, and that's the reason why I agree with Two Live right here, because I'm gonna bring it to a B, because when they did that, ladies love Channing Tatum, and he is the reason why I just brought it down to a B tier. He is not a good actor to me. I'm sorry. He's cool. He's a cool actor, but he's not good. And I feel like, and I'm not even saying he's bad. I'm just saying he's not great enough for me to put him in an A or S tier. So, Channing Tatum aside, Samuel L. Jackson is Samuel L. Jackson, and that is, he's top tier, right? He's the reason when it came down to, like, if Channing Tatum wasn't in it, then I would have maybe put it in an A or S tier. But he's the reason why we're up to a B, right? His story of being a bounty hunter, a black bounty hunter at that, and no, he's not a bounty hunter. He meets up with Kurt Russell, Mr. Nobody, actually, who's the bounty hunter, but happens to be a soldier that has the whole letter from the president that he may have just freestyled just so he can keep his life, going. But all in all, this movie was good. I actually like the story. I like, I love how Tarantino does his chapters when it comes down to this movie. And everybody else, I would agree they were good in this movie, and I really liked it. All right, so I'm putting Hateful Eight as a B tier. Okay, now Django is next up. Django, that S tier. Okay? If anybody has any issues with that, I'm not gonna say fight me because really I don't want the smoke, but I don't really care. Okay? I'm putting it top tier simply because with that, it may just be for me seeing I'm gonna call Jamie Foxx the black superhero in here, okay? And just the story of going from a slave to a badass gunslinger, that was a good ass story, okay? Appreciate you, Tarantino, for doing that. And what else? Anything? Yeah. Oh, too low. I put it in an A. Okay, but I'm putting it in an S tier. Okay. All right. So next up, Death Proof. Death Proof, I've only seen once. And because, actually, no, twice. And I'm going to say when it comes to Tarantino movies, I'm pretty big on that to where minimum I've seen pretty much almost every other Tarantino movie 3 to 4 times. But I watched Death Proof and then maybe watched it again just to see if any of my opinions change. So I'm going to put Death Proof C tier. Okay? Now, Death Proof is a bunch of ladies and they oh this is coincidentally another Mr. Nobody. He's actually been like the trending topic of this whole podcast so far. Mr. Nobody has been in every movie mentioned except for Four Rooms, but he may be in there, I just haven't seen it. But so far he was in Hateful Eight, Death Proof, and this Fast and Furious franchise. The only other movie they hasn't been in is Django. But yeah, I agree. I thought there'd be more action, but it was a little bit. It was kind of drawn out, right? Say the only action in it was maybe like the first group of ladies. They get caught up by Mr. Nobody, and he ends up taking them out. And the coolest part about it is when he rides over homegirl's face. That may sound weird or rude, but it was cool. But and then the only other action outside of that is the end when the new group of girls kick the shit out of them, right? So story wise, okay, shouts out to the ladies, girl power, I'm with that. But this movie, it wasn't it. I'm sorry. And I understand why at the end of the day it's not one of those cult classics. So Death Proof, definitely C. Now, Dusk Till Dawn, right? Now, I'm going to put Dusk Till Dawn in the A tier. Okay? Now, as far as as far as Dusk to Dawn, right? I feel like this is the very first Tarantino movie that I've seen when I was younger, and I didn't know this. Like initially, I thought he was just the actor in it, but it was one of his movies as well. Yeah, I'm putting Dusk Till Dawn as an A. Now, what sold me uh, as an A? Uh, Two things. It was a good vampire story, okay, and this is before. This is like early mid '90s before vampires kind of got drawn out into the Twilight and a whole bunch of bullshit vampire movies. But this was a decent vampire movie, right? That's one. Two, my girl's gonna hate me, but she knows it. She knows I'm a huge Selma Hayek fan. Okay, that was the only reason why I went to go see the Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard. I knew it was gonna be trash, but all in all, Selma's in it, so I'm automatically in. Okay. So when it comes down to Dusk to Dawn, it's A tier because of the vampires in Selma, and it was a badass story. This is being that I didn't know it was like a Tarantino film at first is because it wasn't broken into different chapters. This is one of his. It's all in one continuous story. No breaks, no switching from character to character chapters. Okay, so that's why it's A tier. All right. Now next up, Hollywood. No. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I'm just gonna throw it right here Boom. There it is. Fight me. Once upon a time in Hollywood, every single actor, every single actor, A-list. A-list movie, right? I I don't understand how it could have gone wrong. I saw the trailer. I was sold on the trailer of an actor getting old and he's losing the juice. So I was curious. Uh, uh, I'm curious to see how that went. And yeah, there's a. I don't think there is an F tier, but if there was an F tier, I agree with chat here. When it comes down to it, it says it was a bunch of bull and not because of Bruce. Now, yes, one reason why it's in the F tier because in the commercial, I feel like there was a glimpse of a square off between Brad Pitt and Bruce Lee, right? Brad Pitt's character and Bruce Lee, right? If you've known me for years, I am the hugest Bruce Lee fan, and I'm going to have a Bruce Lee bias right here, okay? But what they did in that movie, I don't know how they got away with that. I don't know how Tarantino thought that was okay to make it seem as if Brad Pitt's character can beat up Bruce Lee. Who the fuck is his character? I'm not saying who's Brad Pitt because at the end of the day, Brad Pitt saved, I wouldn't even say saved the movie, but at the end of the day, it was the end of the movie where he tossed the can into the homegirl's face. That was the best part of the movie, and that was him. Pitt. Sorry, that was a misspoke. I don't want to shit on Brad Pitt or Leo or anybody because, like I said, every single one of those actors in there are A-list, okay? But Brad Pitt's character beating up Bruce Lee, where do they do that at? Okay? We're gonna talk. Let's say traditional. Because I think his character may have been military, right? So he has a bit of some fighting background, and we're going up against a martial artist, someone who invented their own style of martial arts, someone who brought martial arts movies to Hollywood, because initially, if y'all know the story, if y'all don't, I'm going to go through it real quick. He tried to do that because initially he tried to bring his TV show. They fucked him over and brought the actor from Kill Bill. They brought Bill into the show Kung Fu when it would have been him. That's one strike for Hollywood. And then two, he had ideas for movies and I guess they didn't want to take it. So he said, fuck y'all, I'm going to bring my shit to China. And they did. He did that and he blew up. And then it came down to the point initially they saw the glow. They saw the glow up in Hollywood. And then they brought him over to make one movie, which was, I think, his last, which was Enter the Dragon. But every single movie from then was, I'm sure he had some connection to making or writing Fist of Fury, Chinese connection, all of that. And even, I don't even know why they did the Game of Death, but let's scratch that. If there was a tier list there, Game of Death would have been in the F tier. But all in all, he took the rumor story from a stuntman that caught Bruce slipping. If they put the stuntman and Bruce into a ring, guess who's coming out of that ring alive? You know what I'm saying? Guess who's coming out of that ring unscathed? Guess who's coming out of that ring not on the ground? Bruce Lee, okay? I lost my train of thought as far as where I was with the whole Brad Pitt character, but either way, that's for one, okay? And then for two, yeah, the only thing that really kind of pushed the movie, because they drew it out with them making a movie inside the movie with Leo.